Discuss about sickle cell disease. That is also commonly they may ask in the exam, like sickle cell anemia. As we know, this is the inherited disorder, occurs as a result of deletion of beta globin gene on chromosome number 11. The valine is substituted for glutamic acid on beta polypeptide chain. So here the valine is substituted for glutamic acid on beta polypeptide chain. Pathogenesis due to abnormal amino acid sequence in the beta peptide chain. Basically, there is abnormal amino acid sequence is there in the beta peptide chain. Under condition of anoxia or acidosis, the erythrocytes, red blood cells, are deformed into sickle-shaped cells, and these distorted cells block the capillaries and cause local anoxemia. Anoxia lead to further sickling, and blockage of small capillaries causes infarction. So there is decreased supply of blood as well as oxygen to the tissue, which cause infarction in various tissues and organs such as liver, spleen, muscles, and bone. Sickle cells sequestered in the capillaries of reticuloendothelial system are hemolyzed. By this way, the red blood cell destruction occurs, and in sickle cell anemia, basically hemolysis occur in this way and cause anemia. Clinically, child will be ill-looking. On the examination, child will have pallor because of moderate to severe anemia. There is easy fatigability because hemolysis, more of unconjugated bilirubin will be there. It causes icterus, and child have jaundice. Clubbing of fingers and toes occur. There is, because due to hypoxia to the tissue, there is non-healing leg ulcers, inflammation of the finger and toes occurs, that is called dactylitis. Physical growth will be retarded, and onset of puberty is delayed. In cardiovascular system examination, there is cardiomegaly, heart side is enlarged, and due to anemia, you can hear the hemic murmur in the pulmonary area. On examination, the liver is palpable, there is hepatomegaly. Spleen also get enlarged by the age of 9 months. Later, due to repeated infarction, the size of the spleen will decrease. Regression of the spleen is called. Later, you may not able to palpate the spleen. There is autosplenectomy. That is also called autosplenectomy. Initially, spleen is enlarged. Later, due to repeated infarction, it gets regressed, and maybe it is regressed so much that we are not able to palpate the spleen. That is called autosplenectomy. Sometimes there is sickle cell crisis can occur due to suddenly enhanced intravascular sickling. If the patient is exposed to the hypoxic condition, there is intravascular sickling will be there, pain and body ache will be there. Child may become more pale, jaundice will appear, and examination there will be. Child is icteric, pale, non-explained fever will be there. Diagnosis wise, again you do the complete blood count, CBC, complete blood count. There will be hemoglobin will be decreased. If you do the reticulocyte count, count will be increased. Peripheral blood smear will see, you see in the microscope, there will be sickling. Sickling of the RBC will be there. And you do the hemoglobin electrophoresis, which will identify the hemoglobin S. Antenatally, by restriction endonuclease DNA analysis from the fetal fibroblast, or by chronic villus sampling using PCR method, so you can diagnose antenatally also. Treatment wise, keep under observation, give oral penicillin prophylaxis, start at the age of 3 to 4 months of age, because the spleen it get later because there is a repeated infarction of the spleen layer, and one of the major organ which fight against the infection will get regress. So you have to put the child under oral penicillin prophylaxis. Immunization should be done. Give the pneumococcal vaccine at the age of 2 years or before also. Nowadays you can give before also, like Prevnar 13 you can give around 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 months, and at booster dose can be given at the 18 month of life. And you give the folic acid supplementation. Other drugs like hydroxyurea, sometimes to treat the anemia you have to give the recombinant human erythropoietin. Hydroxyurea will cause increase in the fetal hemoglobin, which has got more affinity to the oxygen. So hydroxyurea you can give for the treatment. During sickle cell crisis, because there will be severe body ache, you have to give the analgesic. Let the patient should be calm down by giving sedatives. And if the dehydration is there, you have to give the IV fluids and maintain the correction of the dehydration should be done. Do the arterial blood analysis. If there is metabolic acidosis, give the sodium bicarbonate 1 milli equivalent per kg. And if anemia, like if the hemoglobin level is 8 or less than 8, give the packed red blood cell transfusion, PRBC, around 10 to 15 ml per kg, about 4 to 6 hours, and in between you can give the Lasix, furosemide. Newer treatment like agent stimulating the fetal hemoglobin, like I have already told, hydroxyurea, 5-azacitidine, butyrates, these drugs can be given. Nowadays, for the complete curement, you have to do the bone marrow transplantation. So bone marrow transplantation is one of the good option is there for the treatment of sickle cell anemia. सुनिरहेको छ सबले?
हजुर सर.
Now last one is the immune hemolytic anemia. Group of clinical disorder with reduced lifespan of RBC due to presence of antibodies in the red blood cells membrane. The immune hemolytic anemia basically it occurs due to reduced lifespan of the RBC, where there is presence of or antibodies will be there in the red blood cells. Classified into isoimmune, Rh-ABO incompatibility, autoimmune varieties, okay, and autoimmune hemolytic anemia. Now we'll discuss about autoimmune hemolytic anemia. Autoimmunity against the red blood cell resulting in shorten the red cell survival and increase erythropoiesis as a compensatory response to the marrow. So in autoimmune hemolytic anemia, basically the red blood cell destruction occurs, okay, due to antigen antibody reaction, and there will be increased erythropoiesis as a compensatory response to the marrow because the red blood cells are destroying, and on the other side there will increase erythropoiesis due to response from the bone marrow will occur. Pathophysiologically classified either extravascular or intravascular. Autoimmune hemolytic anemia चाहिँ extravascular पनि हुन सक्छ, intravascular पनि हुन सक्छ. In extravascular, where sensitized red cells by warm IgG antibodies are destroyed by the macrophages system in the spleen. Extravascular मा चाहिँ there is red cells are sensitized by warm IgG antibodies, and these warm IgG antibodies sensitized red cells are destroyed by the macrophages system in the spleen at 37 degrees Celsius. Example like idiopathic, where the cause is not known, and immunoproliferative disorder. Immunoproliferative disorder may be leukemia, lymphoma, all that can cause. Intravascular, in which hemolysis takes place in the liver. एक्स्ट्राभास्कुलरमा चाहिँ हिमोलाइसिस डिस्ट्रक्सन अफ आरबिसी स्प्लिनमा हुन्छ भने इंट्राभास्कुलरमा चाहिँ डिस्ट्रक्सन अफ आरबिसी विल अकर इन द लिभर इन्भल्भिङ द कम्प्लिमेन्ट एन्ड कोल्ड आइजिएम एन्टिबडिज उसमा चाहिँ आइजिजी हुन्छ यसमा चाहिँ आइजिएम हुन्छ एन्टिबडिज example maybe in case of mycoplasma infection infectious mononucleosis CMV cytomegalovirus infection mumps as well as like lymphatic leukemia or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Clinically the peak age of incidence occurs around 4 years of age. Boys are affected more, the cause is unknown. Clinically you can see the child is pale due to anemia, child is icteric due to jaundice, child may have got fever, urine is dark in color, they may have abdominal pain. On examination there will be hepatosplenomegaly will be there. Severe disease, acutely ill, child looks acutely ill, there will be tachycardia, signs of hypoxia will be there. Signs of hypoxia like child will be irritable, may have ultrasensorium, due to severe hypoxia, may have sweating, child may be tachypneic, and child may have got cardiovascular collapse, child may be in the state of shock, the pulse are tachycardic or pulse may be rapid and thready, limbs are, peripheries are cool, there may be central cyanosis, blood pressure will be decreased, so cardiovascular collapse or signs of hypoxia you can see. Diagnosis wise, on investigation you have to do the complete blood count, CBC, there you see the hemoglobin is decreased, reticulocyte count will be elevated. Here the direct Coombs test is positive. If you do the peripheral blood smear, you can see the polychromasia, nucleated RBC spherocytes. Here also you can see the spherocytes. In hereditary spherocytosis also you can see the spherocytes. In autoimmune hemolytic anemia also you can see the spherocytes. White blood cell count are WBC are normal or elevated. Indirect bilirubin is raised. Bone marrow you can see the erythroid hyperplasia. Treatment wise, just supportive treatment. Anemia you give the packed red blood cell. If the hemoglobin is less than 8 gram per deciliter, you give the 10 to 15 ml per kg of packed red blood cell, PRBC, packed red blood cell over 4 to 6 hours. In between, you can give the furosemide. You have to control the underlying condition. Like if the child is autoimmune hemolytic anemia occur due to infectious mononucleosis, you have to give the acyclovir treatment. If it is due to mycoplasma pneumoniae or mycoplasma, you have to give the macrolides, azithromycin, or if there is lymphoma or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or leukemia, you have to start the chemotherapy. Specific therapy, if the cause is unknown, and specific therapy for just autoimmune hemolytic anemia, apart from underlying conditions, you can give the prednisolone. At least you have to give 2 milligram per kg per day. You have to give the prednisolone. It will help to decrease the production of abnormal IgG antibodies. So IgG antibodies will be not produced and it will not get attached to the red blood cell, and destruction of RBC will be decreased or absent. Okay. If not improved, you can go for splenectomy or immunosuppressive therapy by 6 mercaptopurine or azathioprine. Cyclophosphamide or chlorambucil, these are the other drugs you can give in case of autoimmune hemolytic anemia, especially IgG mediated. Newer therapeutic agent like high dose intravenous immunoglobulin, high dose IgG, IVIG you can give. IgG not, high dose intravenous immunoglobulin you can give. In resistant cases, you can go for plasmapheresis, plasma exchange, or red cell exchange transfusion. You can go for that. And in case of cold antibodies mediated like IgM type, you have to give the alpha interferon. These are drugs you can give in case of cold antibodies mediated, like in case of that case you can give the alpha interferon. In cold agglutinin disease, you can give alpha interferon. Okay. Okay, today's actually I have completed almost in last previous classes. Today's only 2 topics were there. So we have finished this hemolytic anemia. So today we have discussed about sickle cell anemia and autoimmune hemolytic anemia. These are the 2 short notes can come in the exam, or sometimes they may ask in the viva also. Okay. Basically, what are the cause classification of hemolytic anemia? In hemolytic anemia, basically, first enzyme defect like glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, hereditary spherocytosis, membrane defect, hemoglobinopathy, this thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, autoimmune hemolytic anemia. These are the most common topic which can be asked in the exam. So please go through about it. Okay. Thank you.